Hi, everybody. My name is Alyssa Hiron, and for my poetry presentation, I selected the poem Nature, Which Cannot Be Driven To by Diane Seuss. And this poem is found within the novel You Are Here, Poetry in the Natural World. So, just a quick summary of the poem. After reading and analyzing through the poem, Nature, Which Cannot Be Driven To, by the poet Diane Seuss, it certainly conveys a powerful message of our important everyday actions and decisions that we make with our individual worlds surrounding us, and a metaphorical comparison to nature. It is without a doubt a poem that will allow many to take a second to reflect upon the lessons that you inherently learn through navigating through nature, and in other words, through life. So I feel like this poem really makes you think about all of the important decisions and choices that you make on a daily basis that have truly impacted your future. And the poet does a great example of tying this in to occurrences that also happen in nature. So it's really nice to see that interconnectedness. What I enjoyed the most about this poem. So, one thing I truly enjoyed about this poem was how it allows the audience a sense of interconnectedness between nature and our personal worlds. The poem uses multiple examples of poetic language, such as imagery, numerous examples of similes, and an ending that is full of ambiguity that allows the reader to tie in a personal connection and understanding to the poem and its interconnectedness to nature. It is without a doubt evident that with the hidden message embedded and the numerous incorporations of powerful poetic language, this poem is not only super impactful, but also very memorable due to its message. I believe that a lot of the examples of comparison that the poet Seuss makes you really think about is these situations that many of the audience have dealt with in their lives and how it has a direct tie to nature as well. So it's really nice to see that cycle in both of these worlds and the interconnectedness between them. So one of the literary devices that I found within the poem was imagery. As I have analyzed through this poem, it is without a doubt an experience that the audience can not only visualize, but also make personal connections to due to its powerful usage of imagery. A clear example that the author utilized this poetic language within her poem can be seen as the poem states, to drive to it is to drive through it. Like a stalker, it is in the back seat of a car. It's in the passenger seat and the wires of the radio. Seuss lines 1 through 4. This conspicuous usage of imagery allows the readers to be able to visualize the connection being made of the eerie presence that will not go away, such as a stalker, and ultimately add to the overall message of the poem itself. So there was plenty of examples within this poem of similes, but the poet used this at the very beginning of her poem. So it starts off as something that we can make a personal connection to, and we're able to paint this picture in our heads. So perfect usage of imagery. Similes within the poem. Arguably, there are distinct examples of similes that are featured throughout this piece of poetic art and tie into the meaning embedded within. Seuss utilizes the poetic art form of a simile when describing an interpretation of the speed of a fox, as stated in the poem, foxes hurry down sidewalks as if they were late for a meeting, counting their steps, a number which will legitimize. Seuss, lines 42 through 44. By implementing the precise usage of a simile, Seuss is able to convey an even deeper meaning to the message as the audience can interpret this simile in comparison and be able to apply it to their personal lives as compared to nature. So again, there was so many examples of similes all throughout this poem, but this one was featured within the middle of the poem, and it's almost featured in a turning point. So it was super powerful, and it just makes that direct comparison right there to nature and to our society. Ambiguity in the poem. After countless revisions of this poem, I have come to the understanding that the message behind this is left to the reader themselves due to the ambiguous interpretation of applying the meaning of life to a direct comparison of nature. I believe that Seuss's seamless usage of creating a storyline that not only applies to actions that occur in nature, but also within the audience's personal lives as well, enables a sense of ambiguity at the end and being able to make a personal connection to the poem. Seuss describes at the end of the poem, nature cannot be redeemed. It is your wish to redeem it, to set things right. It is the impossibility of redemption. It is the lover walking out, their self-justed gate, as they disappear through the tunnel of flowers. Seuss, lines 51 through 56. As the poem effortlessly aligns an ambiguous ending, I believe that it deepens the message once the audience is able to make their personal connections to the poem in a figurative manner. So I really believe that not only myself, but the audience had to read this poem multiple times to be able to fully understand it and grasp the message that was embedded within it. I think that you just have to keep rereading it and you're able to find out more of these connections and how it applies to your personal life. So, why is this poem important? This poem is enormously powerful with its deep message that ties into the real world experiences society deals with and its comparison to nature. I believe that not only does the poem preach an array of examples of hard work, perseverance, and acceptance, but it also allows the reader to be able to reflect upon their past decisions and apply these experiences as a learning point. It also effortlessly perceives the message that nature is always evolving, and so are human beings. These are strong takeaways that the audience is able to perceive and be able to develop an overall better understanding for the meaning and message behind this work of art. So this poem was super strong, and I feel like the message behind it really allowed the audience to not only make a personal connection, but also see the interconnectedness between their personal lives and nature. Okay, thank you so much.